Well, hello people, how are you? I want to invite you to this channel. If you're new here, welcome. And today I want to have a talk about the judging function. Basically, the planning, our long-term planning. As INFJs, of course, that's a very important, critical component to our life, believe it or not. We may take it for granted to say, you don't always have to plan for everything every second of the day or whatever. And a lot of people might say, it's not that big a deal. I mean, you can just, make up things as you go along, in other words. Now, that might be fine for some people. And some of the types, this will work for them. Some spontaneous type, ESTP types, you get the drift. The P types will say this. Yeah, it's no big deal, but that's the type. And sometimes you might get to thinking it. As an INFJ, especially early on in your life, you may think it's not that big a deal. But I'm going to tell you that in a lot of ways, it can just be kind of, I'm trying to think of the right word, almost paralyzing. Not literally paralyzing, but in your mind, if you're not coming up with plans. Now, here's an example. Let's say you go to the store, go to the grocery store, or you're looking for something. You know you need the basics. There's always that standard thing you need. You need bread, you need milk, you need eggs. Typically people have a standard set of groceries they get every week. Things that they eat that are typical, that they can use. Now with me, I usually pack a certain lunch, and I pack a certain lunch every week. Get my bread, maybe my peanut butter, get my jelly, and I make my lunch. I get I have a certain amount of things that I eat, pack in my lunch for work. But then occasionally I like my dinner. I want to make something. Maybe a casserole, maybe a stew. Now sometimes I go in and I don't think of what I'm going to do. And then I got to think about it on the fly. Now I get into that grocery store, I start picking things out. And if I don't have that plan or that what I want to get or even a recipe, then sometimes that whole store just looks like a shelf. There's nothing really there. It's like everything's just overpowering in a sense. Everything looks the same, in other words. You go, every aisle looks the same. No longer are there just individual products in there. It's like just one big aisle of the same thing because you don't have a plan. And there's nothing there to pick. So now you're almost blinded in a way. You're looking into something, you're looking into an abyss almost without a plan. And that's the way it is with an INFJ. You might find out in your life that that's the way it is. You'll notice that maybe younger ones, if you don't come up with that, if you don't think ahead, it's just kind of like overwhelming what you're looking at. So, believe it or not, with an INFJ and with the judging function especially, if you have this kind of personality, it's almost part of, it has to just develop into who you are. And if you're going to be spontaneous, you almost have to plan for something spontaneous. And that's the only way to get through your day, is to know that the unexpected can happen. You got to almost plan for that. One time I had a job. I had a job back. It was actually my tire job, and I had to have a idea that anything could happen at any given time. A tire could blow out somewhere. A call could come in at any minute, at any time of the day, where you had to go and respond. You couldn't plan for that, but you had to plan for the fact that anything could happen. And that's how I got through that job. I remember thinking about that. I had to plan for the unexpected to happen. And just knowing that anything can happen unexpectedly at that moment. And that's the way I kind of got through that job. But some things you can't do that with. like I said, you almost have to have that plan. You have to have that recipe picked out. You have to have that cookbook open, or maybe you put that app in your phone with a recipe, and you got to be looking at it before you leave your house. And you got to know you have a certain set of items that you're going to get at that grocery store. You don't want to get there and start making plans in the store at the moment. I've tried that too, and it always seems like now you're just sitting in an aisle looking on your app in the store. You're pulled over, and you're trying to put things together, put a recipe together, I should say, at that moment. So I guess bottom line, what I'm saying is, people, INFJs in their judging function, in their planning, is highly crucial to their alignment as their type. And if you can master just making sure that you put your life in order by always thinking 3 steps ahead, by always thinking about your plans ahead, it will get you through the day better. But also, I want to point something out also, that, there are levels of our planning. And you may have several plans going on at the same time. You have your long-term plans. I guarantee you have a 3-year plan in your life. You've already planned out 3 years ahead. Once you get out of high school, or if you get out of college, you know what job you're going to get. You know where you want to go. Maybe you're thinking, all right, after I graduate, I'm going to go into the Army or something, or I'm going to get into this electrical field, or I'm going to get into this field. And then after that, I'm going to make my money, get my house, buy a house, and I want to live here. So you're always planning that long-term future. Then you have your intermediate plans, ones that are probably just a few days ahead. How are you going to pay your rent? How are you going to pay your mortgage at the end of the month? What bills you're going to factor in? You're budgeting your money. You're already factoring your paychecks. You're already tabulating in your mind what you're going to do and how you're going to pay things. And then you have your ones that are just, let's say, an hour ahead of time. Then you have your short-term plans. And then, of course, like I said, you have the supermarket plans too. Yeah, you have to plan for that recipe. And then you have your minuscule plans. I get up in the morning, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know I'm going to make an egg sandwich. I know I'm going to put salt on my eggs, pepper on my eggs. Or I'm going to make spaghetti, and I'm going to make chicken or something. So you have your short-term, right now plans that you're putting together. So I guess bottom line is, I'm saying that in the INFJ, you're not having just one plan. You probably already have multiple plans going on, and all long-term, intermediate, short-term, and very short-term plans. There could be many of them. But of course, you kind of just know how they work. This is just the way you think. Your mind is just going there instinctively. You're always looking ahead. But my point is, if you don't have these plans, if you're not planning for it, it does make your life a little more confusing, a little bit more taxing. And you'll find yourself zoning out more often. You'll find yourself just making up things on the fly, but it seems so unnatural to you. Yeah, that's basically what happens when you don't put your plans in order as an INFJ. So I can't stress on how important it is as an INFJ to have your plans in order, your future in order. So, but I guess that's basically what I want to say, is how it may seem minuscule, like it's not that big a deal. And again, the ones that are telling you it's not that big a deal, well, they're the ones that can wing it. Those are the ones that can just throw together something spontaneously, and that's part of the way they live their life. But for you, as an INFJ, you have to know that keeping a schedule, keeping a plan is imperative. So just thought I'd throw that out there for you people. Okay. And, well, people, thank you so much. I got to be honest with you, people. I'm at a point right now. I'm trying to think of something. I'm trying to plan for something. I was trying to plan for a video. Like, what do I do? So nothing was coming to mind. So I thought, well, maybe I need to talk about the importance of a plan for a video. And I thought, well, this is a good time to do this. Because sometimes we have to remind ourselves of the importance of certain things we do as well. And that's basically what I'm telling you right now. Well, I hope this helped, people. So I guess basically, people, if you like this content, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know you like this, and I'll make some more. All right. So, like I said, this is the INFJ experience, and I guess the plans are all part of that experience when you think about it. Okay. Well, thank you again, people. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay? Until tomorrow.